Well, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm very excited to introduce everyone to Jacki Jones. But before we get going, just a couple things I want to bring up because I see a few more people have signed on. So thank you again for joining. We are taping this session. So if you have to head out a couple minutes early, or if you want to share it with a friend, we will have the taped recorded session up next week on our YouTube channel. If you have a question, we do have a person, Catherine Gettle, who works with us here at LBI America. She's our customer relations and marketing manager. Thrilled to have her on board. She is monitoring the chat full-time throughout this webinar today. So if you have a question, Jacki and I will be having the webinar in the casual conversation, but we have a dedicated person. So just know that. So feel free to put any questions or comments in the chat, and she'll be going through those and making sure she answers the questions with you. So we are taping the session. We cannot see or hear you because we're in webinar mode. All right, so thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and get started. Well, today, again, we're going to meet Jacki Jones. Today is Living with Low Vision. This is a new type of series that actually Catherine brought to life for us, so we're thrilled about that. We're going to be having some more Living with Low Vision series. We have a few more people we're going to be bringing on board in the months to come. But today we're going to be interviewing Jacki Jones, and I'm so excited to interview Jacki for several reasons. You guys are going to leave this webinar inspired and excited as well, because after you meet her, your life has been changed. I mean, you can tell by the pictures you have up here, she just has a zest for life and that smile. You know, the first time that I got to meet her, she actually ended up getting one of our products called the MagnaLink Tab. And I had the privilege of training her through Zoom. In these times that we're in, we don't do a lot of in-person. And so I had the privilege of training her, and just, it was amazing. Some of the things that stood out to me about Jacki is she's had a lot of things happen in her life. You know, this year for everyone has been a lot, but Jacki has had a lot happen. And even, you know, I don't want to steal too much of her thunder, but she's even had COVID. She's still right now working with trying to get through COVID and the symptoms of that. But nothing has discouraged her. Everything is just go, go, go. And you know what? I need to be happy for what I do have, not what I don't have. And so we're going to talk through a lot of those things today. So a couple pictures on the screen. It says, meet Jacki Jones, living with low vision, using the tab for school and work. And we have Jacki leaning against the building with her cane. I'll let her talk about that picture and what it's from. And then just Jacki with a bright smile on her face, which I know you guys all can see her live today. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go through a series of slides as we go through. But Jacki, I want to kind of do this more like an interview style. You sent me some information, but I'm going to let you kind of share what makes Jacki tick. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kimberly, and hello, everyone. I'm excited to be a part of this amazing event. There's a lot that makes me tick. Actually, I'm fun and I love to laugh, and I love cooking, and I love dancing, reading. I still hike even with my low vision issues. There's so much in a day that I try to fill in to make my life full that I could go on for a long time to tell you what makes me tick, but really it's really having a great community with me, and just enjoying life and appreciating every day that I wake up. So
excellent. So Jacki, tell us a little bit about your vision. So what's going on with your vision, your eye condition, and you know, you and I kind of talked the other day a little bit, but share a little bit about your story.
Yes, thank you. I got glaucoma about 19 years ago, and but not until recently did my sight take a turn for the worse. I was, you know, like bumping my head and like and bruising myself, and I really thought it was because I was clumsy, you know, and I didn't think anything about it that it could be my vision. So when I went to a regular eye appointment, My doctor told me that I needed a procedure to stop me from going totally blind. And I had the procedure done and I had to have it again. And on that second visit, my doctor told me she was going to send me to Braille Institute for training and that they could help me. And I was, I was like, why? For what? I said, isn't the Braille Institute for the blind? She said, yes, but they offer um, so many more, um, things for low vision as well. So um, I was like, okay, I'll go and do it. So reluctantly, I made that appointment. And when I got to the door of the Braille Institute, I that was the hardest door I ever opened in my life,
I
you
bet.
know, and
Well, you knew your life was going to change from that point forward.
absolutely. I didn't, but you know what? I didn't know how my life was going to change.
Right.
And so when I opened that door, um, I was met with a cheery smile and a and a kind and gentle voice. And she spoke to me, and she said she was gonna cane train me. Um, I was overwhelmed. I have to say I was really overwhelmed with all this new information because I didn't know what my future was going to look like. Um, but by the time she finished, I was I was I was in a cane train meeting and getting trained with what my new future was going to look like.
So tell the story you shared with me, and you just you bring a smile to my face. Tell the story about the 4-inch heels, and being who you are. I'm Jackie. It doesn't matter if I'm Jackie with a visual impairment. I'm Jackie, and I have
Yeah.
4-inch heels, and you know what? No one's going to stop me. So tell me.
Well, when Leanne told me that she was going to cane train me, well, let me go back a little bit. So when she's telling me, she's going to train me, and I'm thinking, wow, okay, I'm going to get this cane. And all this time she's talking to me, I'm thinking about these 4-inch heels, right? And and I said, well, I'll get trained, but you have to train me in 4-inch heels. And she looked at me and she said, you may be cute, but there are some things that you have to give up. And I'm thinking, I'm not giving those up. So I said, well, I'll show up, but I'm still showing up in 4-inch heels. And when I showed up, I had on 4-inch heels, and she just looked at me and kind of giggled. And yeah, and the rest is history. She trained me, and I still wear 4-inch heels. I've learned to walk up and down stairs and with my heels on. And I always feel like you have to have something that you hold on to as a part of yourself. Um, because you feel like when you're told that either you're losing your vision, or you know you've lost your vision, that you have to sacrifice who you really are. And I just don't believe that. I believe with that, um, if you put everything forward that's inside of you as the person you were put on this earth to be, you can do anything, even with low vision or no vision. So it doesn't stop me. There's a picture on the screen of me coming down um, some stairs in Los Angeles. I was at the Getty Museum, and I'm coming down the stairs with my cane. Now I'm newly trained at this point. Um, so I'm practicing, I'm taking every stair I can. And in the background, there's this lady looking at me like, oh my goodness, how is she doing this? But my training has paid off um, for me getting up and down stairs. Um, and also, there's another picture on the screen of me kneeling in front of some lavender bushes. I go to Seattle to see my daughter yearly before COVID. And we have this ritual that we find pretty bushes and we kneel and we do a pose. So I'm kneeled down on one knee with my cane and my finger on my chin. So that's our annual post. So I'm not afraid to travel by myself. Um, True independence is just that, not being able to stop doing what you were doing before and to
And I'm going to
just
go
go.
back. There's another one of you here by the Polar Express train ride. I mean, you told me about you travel. Nothing's going to stop you. You've got a lot
No,
of life to live. You mentioned your daughter. You want to show her you're independent. Your life hasn't stopped just because your vision is changing.
that is correct. And Polar Express was like a really fun event. For one, it's my favorite movie. I love that movie. I watch it every Christmas. And so there was an event out in like the San Bernardino area of California.
Mhm.
And so you go and you go through this tent, and I'm thinking there's nothing here, but you go on this cool train ride, and it's like a musical on a train ride, and you have to participate, and Santa comes, and there are dancers, and it's like giving the movie in a musical form. I had so much fun. I felt like I was a kid again. And you
That's
know,
so
with everything, with vision and all, I didn't see a whole lot because they dimmed the train and put the lights, but the music alone was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So you told me another story when we were talking, and this picture really made me think about it. On the bottom of your cane, you have like a large white type of ball. So explain to people what that is, and then explain to people your humor, because people come up and ask the darndest things.
Yeah, they do. So I have this high mileage ball on my cane. It's a big round ball, probably a little bit bigger than a golf ball. And because I do like to hike and I still run, believe it or not, um, um, I went to um, to the dentist one day, and this lady looked at me kind of rudely, and she said, "What is that thing?" And I said, "It helps me count my steps." It helps me count my steps, so I can keep track of how many steps I take a day. I think with sometimes when people see that it's just not like a regular cane, um, they're not sure, but they're not sure how to ask you what it is. So a lot of the times, the things that I've overcome with people asking kind of like ridiculous questions, like she just did about, what is that thing? Um, so what I do, I make myself approachable, and I'm like, I'll speak first. If I hear them coming, I'm like, hello, and they're like, oh, hi. And I'm like, or I'll make a joke or something, and to relax the person, so that they are more comfortable, where you can answer them if they should want to ask, what what is your vision? How did you lose it? What is that thing at the bottom of your cane? So that's how I approach it. That's how I approach my life. I've learned to keep my head up and say hello first, um, instead of walking past, because in the beginning, I didn't say anything, and people didn't speak to me. And that's not who I am. I'm that person that say hello with a smile in my voice, and just, you know, it's part of my personality. So I wanted that to continue with the cane, with everything, because now that cane is an extension of my hand. So um, I can't do anything about it. It's a part of me now.
Talk about, you mentioned when you go to hug people and the cane being an extension of your hand. I thought that was such, I've been in the industry a long time, going on 27 years, and I've met a lot of low vision people, a lot of people with no vision at all. And of course, people say to me, oh, how do you do your job? And I said, well, you know what? Low vision people are just like everybody else. We're all just people. We all have different challenges in lives. Yes, it is tough to not be able to drive, and yes, there's a lot of other challenges that you have, Jackie, that I don't have to deal with. But I love your approach with, it's just a true extension of my hand. It's who I am. I'm proud of it. I love my cane. My cane gives me independence, not oh, I want to hide it. I want to put it in the trunk of my car. That's another story you can tell.
Yes.
The trunk of the car story. Why is it an extension of your hand? How do you hug people? You know, what is it? How does it make that change for you? Where did you transform between, I don't want to go to Braille Institute, I'm not blind, to, dang it, I have a cane and I'm proud of it. How did that happen?
I think that just with a little bit of practice, I have to say, with a little bit of practice, because at first, you know, I used to put my cane to the side, and then it became an obstacle for the people that I hugged. So I was like, I need to figure a way to make this become a part of me. So what I did was I kept practicing bringing the cane into my center, like the center of my chest, so it aligned with the center of my body. So when I would hug people, I'm left-handed, so I
I knew
use
I
my
liked
cane.
you. I'm left-handed too.
Yes. So I use my cane with my right, so my left hand is free. So when people come to me, I bring my cane to the center of me and I hug them with my left hand and I bring them close. And I bring them close enough where they never feel the cane in the way. So, and I just keep it there as I'm talking, just so that it's not the focus and they can focus on our conversation, um, to keep to keep the conversation relaxed instead of like a, oh, it's me, you know, like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, or keep looking at the cane, because at first that's what a lot of people used to do. Instead of looking at me, and they would keep looking back at the cane. And I was like, I don't want that to be the focus. I want them to focus on me. So,
Right. So talk about the story. You know, you kind of challenged somebody. They, you know, they said they didn't want to use a cane. You know, they were like, oh, you know, canes are for blind people, or canes are this, or canes are that. And you're like, you challenge somebody, I'll learn Braille if you do this. And did that story about how you now have, it's one thing to go from, oh my goodness, I'm going blind, I don't want to do this, to embracing it, to
yes.
now telling other people, hey, you know, look at, I'll partner up with you here. Here's how can we make this better. So now you're out making a difference in the world. Kind of talk about
Yes,
that a little bit.
yes, that is so true. I am, I, as I was going to the Braille Institute, um, and meeting people and doing things, I met this young lady that, you know, that her vision was worse than my vision. And she would not take her cane. So I was asked to meet with her. So I met with her at a Starbucks and we talked. And, you know, I came in with my cane and she kind of told me her background of her vision. And I was like, oh, I said, so why don't you take a cane? And she goes, well, you know, it's not me. It's not, you know, I'm not ready, you know, you know, things like that. And I'm thinking, wow, you know, I said, so where do you feel that it's a problem? She goes, I just can't bring myself to do it. So I said, okay. So she goes, well, do you take Braille? And I said, no. I said, well, if I take Braille, would you take your cane? And she said, okay. So I signed up for Braille classes and got in touch with this amazing volunteer at Braille Institute that made my Braille class amazing. So
Well,
I kept my end of the deal. But when I met up with my friend again for lunch, she didn't keep up with her deal. She she had her cane in her car.
yeah,
So I was like, "Where's your cane?" And she said, "I said, you know, we made a deal." And she's like, "It's in my trunk." I said, "Well, it's not doing you any good in your trunk." You know, I said, I need you to keep your end of the deal. So as we were leaving, I said, "Now go get it." You know, like I was being bossy, but but I was like, "Get it." And it's a slimline cane. I said, "Please take it. It'll stop all your bruising and stuff like that." She took it out of her trunk. I am not sure if she still uses it because of COVID, 19, we have not been able to meet up again. But I'm still holding to my promise. And when I see her again, if she doesn't have it, I'm gonna march her right back to her car, and I'm gonna tell her to get her cane because it's a part of her. So yeah,
Exactly. So the next thing we have on the screen is don't be an Eeyore. And, Jackie and I kind of talked about this. You guys, we all run into Eeyores. We run into victim personality or, oh, me, poor me. It's all. And, Jackie, talk about like your vision. And you told me your sister even said to you, like, what are you going to do? Like everyone else is more worried about
yeah,
your vision than you are. You're like, hey, today it's this, tomorrow it's that, yeah. And I know part of that's, your personality and you're lighthearted. I know some of it's got to be still
yeah,
tough, but the big, oh my gosh, what if you wake up tomorrow and it's gone? I mean,
yeah.
that what if, always thinking about the glass half empty type thought, and kind of what do you do with that when people come to you, and even if you start getting down yourself, how do you get yourself out of being an Eeyore?
Yeah. Well, I kind of live my entire life by don't be an Eeyore. No matter how tough things get, it's okay, I guess, to be a little bit down on yourself sometimes, but just don't stay there. And my thing about don't be an Eeyore is that, my sister worries that, you know, anytime that my vision change, like I can come in where there's a day where the room is really cloudy, but the room really isn't clouding it. It's just my vision. Or I see the blinds looking wavy and the blinds aren't moving. So that's her biggest worry. Well, what are you going to do if you go blind? What are you going to do? I said, let me say one thing to you. If I should go blind today, I said, I'm prepared. This is why I'm learning Braille. This is why, I'm taking all the steps that I need to. But if I go blind today, all you need to do is tell her I've lost my vision. She will train me how to live my life with no vision. So that's really, that's my attitude. It's like be a Pooh. Be the Pooh. Always look for the positive in every negative. Find a positive. That's how I live my life, every day. That is part of, excuse me, that is part of when I wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is I pray to God and I'm thankful. I have gratitude, and um, excuse me. Um, Let me mute this for 1 second. I
Sure.
apologize.
And you guys, I wasn't even sure Jackie was going to be able to do this interview. This is Jackie recovering from COVID, and she's still in the midst of recovery. So her strength isn't
Yeah.
always here with her all day. And she said, I'm going to do this. No, I've got a
Yes.
message. I'm going to do this. Yeah, maybe I have to sleep the rest of the day, but I'm going to do this. So
Yes.
thank you, Jackie. I know
Thank.
you're not 100%, and I know
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And I apologize, and thank you
no,
everyone for being so patient.
not at
Um,
all.
So, yes, and yes, I did get COVID-19, even being careful. And yes, I am still recovering, but I'm still positive and know that I will beat this virus, the long haulers that I have with a positive attitude. So, that being said, being the Pooh, like I said, I wake up every day and I thank God, and I'm really really grateful for my life that I have today, my sight that I wake up with that I can see every day, and I really want to share with you today what I say to myself every day, especially when those days that sometimes I'm like, I do have a little bit of Eeyore in me. And then I have to remind myself, I tell myself never to give up on the person that you've been put on this earth to be, and the people that are in your presence and in your future that you were meant to inspire. I say that to myself every day because, it means a lot to me to to inspire, like I've had instances where I've met a person and said something in at that right moment for that person to say thank you. I needed that today. So, that's what I'm about. That's who I am. I want to inspire people. I really want to I want to help people. So that's who Jacki Jones is.
Absolutely. Put a spring in your step. And Jacki, even during COVID, and, you and I've spoken many times to get ready
Yeah.
for today, every day, I put it every day that I know I get to call you, it puts a spring in my step. Just it's a
Oh,
smile on my face because I know I'm going to hear good stuff. It's
yeah.
not like, oh, 80% I don't feel bad. I hear the 20, whatever it takes. I hear the good stuff. I hear the Pooh. I don't hear the Eeyore. And
Yeah.
these are Jacki concepts. I didn't make up the Eeyore and the Pooh. We listened in and we talked about this, but these are a unique way to put these things. And I think it's really incredible because, putting a spring in your step, you've shared with me, you surround yourself with a great support team. So talk about that a little bit and why, it's okay to ask for help, but you can still be independent if you ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Yes. Yes, that is so true. You know, when I started going into training with to learn this new lifestyle of mine, or my permanent life of what I'm going to be in the future, with or without vision. When I went to Braille Institute for training, I took friends and family to teach them how to be safe guides for me,
Mhm.
like when I needed their assistance. And one thing, that the Braille Institute also taught me was to ask for help, ask for help, even if you have to buy somebody a cup of coffee to say thank you. Um, have a network of people that you can depend on when you can't. But at that same time, I would give them like a $10 gift card from Starbucks saying thank you. Or the next time we went out to dinner or lunch, I would buy their lunch and say thank you. So you have to ask. You have to surround yourself with people that are going to help you.
Right.
It's so important to
Yeah.
have that.
You woke up tomorrow and you couldn't see anymore. You're prepared for that. You don't get prepared. You don't learn Braille. If that happens instantly and you need to learn Braille, yes. But
Yes.
with your vision the possibility of that happening is somewhat high. And you want to be prepared for that. So don't get prepared in the middle of the crisis. Try to get
Yes.
prepared now. And so I
Yes.
thought that was really a good lesson. And I have another friend, hopefully she's on today here in Las Vegas, where I'm from, that has no vision. And that's her philosophy. She has two children. And then it's, I have to learn for, during getting kids on the bus or all these different things to prepare. Or what if an emergency happened and I can't get a hold of my family? I better have Lyft and Uber set up, or I better have a driver set up. Have these things set up. Don't try to figure it out in the middle of the emergency. And so I think that
That
that's
is
really, really
correct.
important. So up here we have some pictures of Jacki in action. Jacki is using the MagLink tab, which is a product that we create. That's how I met Jacki. She ended up getting the MagLink tab, and through Services to the Blind there, they assisted her. She's using it for school and work. So on the screen, we have two pictures. We have Jacki using the tablet up in the upper left-hand corner, and then in the other bottom right-hand corner, we have it actually to where it's a split screen where you can see our software. And Jacki, talk about school. You're finishing math right now. I know it's been a huge challenge for you. I know that
Yeah.
the school's been supportive, but now you're trying to do everything online. You're trying to use Zoom. You're trying to show your teacher, I am doing my work. I'm still part of the class. I'm just like everybody else. I just can't see to do it like everybody else. So kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So Well, for one, that tablet is amazing. When um, I got to go back just a little bit just to preface this screen right here, how
Sure.
I got this equipment. When I went to those daily living classes at
Hmm.
the Braille Institute, they were demonstrating with processed food and being culinary trained, you know, processed food didn't sit well with me. So I went back and I wrote an email to my Department of Rehab. And I said, I need to find out what you can do for me to go back to school to learn about nutrition so that I can educate people in the community to eat and live a healthier lifestyle. So we had this meeting, and he kind of went through the equipment and things that could help me. So he provided me with all the equipment that I needed to do my current job and to go to school. So um, I had like 6 classes to go. I'm currently working on my last 2 classes. But he said, get everything you needed, like all the information that you need, and then present it to me. And then I will be the one to, get you the help to get you the equipment. So I went to the Disabled Students Program and Services at Saddleback College, and I asked, like what I need and what classes. So they set me up with a program. That department, I believe all of them have capes on their backs because there was nothing that they wouldn't do for me and get people to talk to me where people didn't answer the phone when they just gave me phone numbers. So I got set up with that, took it all back because going to class on campus was cumbersome because before I had my laptop and then I had an extra camera that sat on the desk. So I had only equipment on the desk. I was not able to really place a book. I was holding the book under the camera. So when this tab came out, it's so portable, and I was able to like literally kind of take it out the take it out of the box. Help me set this up, and so when I literally took it out the box, it was ready to go. And so this camera, now I could put the book on the desk. The camera was attached to the unit and it was magnified. And when they put the whiteboard, I was able to turn the camera out to the whiteboard and I could actually see
Right.
what was on the screen. So math, although I'm learning it from home, like remotely now, is a challenge, but I record the live sessions um, that might, because we go, twice a week, but it's live. It's not just self-taught. So I take the camera and I point it to my laptop and I record the session and I can go back and listen to the lecture live. So it has made learning math a lot easier um, than I ever imagined. So
When you're getting towards the end, you're about ready to get your associates. Is that correct?
that is correct. Yes.
That's so incredible.
Yeah, I'm really
Congratulations.
happy. Thank you. Thank you. Because when this is over, I'm really hoping to excite people about cooking and provide preparation and to teach a healthier way of living.
And so you're also you've done work from home now too because of COVID and haven't been able to go in. So you've been using the tab as well for that. Is that correct?
What I use the tab for work for is documents like, training materials. If I
Got
have to
it.
reference back to training materials, I put them there. And I also let the machine read to me because I have 2 different systems. I can't hook the tablet up to my work laptop. So I have the tablet reading like instructions to me so that I can look at it on the screen, at a later time. So that's how I use it for work.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. So just a little bit about the tablet, you guys. It is a Surface Pro. It's a Microsoft Surface Pro tablet. Jackie happens to have an i7. It does come in 3 flavors. You can get it i5 or i7, or we sell it without the tabs. So if somebody that has their own tablet, that's fine. You know, we just then provide the stand, the camera, and the software. As Jackie said, it's great because it's an all-in-one unit. Before, she was trying to carry a camera and a laptop and of course her cane. That's the extension of her arm. So she just was bombarded with low vision equipment. So the great thing about the tablet is it's all in one. It's very small and portable. So it is your computer because it's Windows 10, but it also, as she said, it reads to her. So it's text to speech, and then it's a CCTV. So she can use it to enlarge or read to her. And so you saw on the prior screen where we had it, she has the math problems enlarged. And then at the bottom, she's got the screen colors that are good for her, which is the bright white with the blue. So you can customize it. You have the ability to make it whatever colors that you like. And now if you're at home in a home setting where Jackie is, I've talked to her before, and she can plug it into a bigger monitor. So that the tablet itself, of course, is a 12.3-inch screen because it's a standard Microsoft Surface Pro tablet. But if you're in a place for a length of time, you can plug it into a bigger monitor. So as she mentioned, that camera does distance. As she said, it went to the whiteboard. You can also use it for document, as she mentioned, or self-viewing. So if you're needing to shave or do grooming, you can use it for personal reasons. The whole unit itself and everything together is about 8 pounds. So it's very small and lightweight. There's 3 ways to do almost everything. Super easy to use: touchscreen, gestures, or keyboard. And I don't know if you caught that, but Jackie's using a large print keyboard. In both pictures, it's a little bit where you can see it a little bit more on the right-hand side. So she's got the high contrast white on black for the keyboard. So it's just easier to see. And she can, as she mentioned, she can video record. You can do save images, anything that you need for a classroom or a work environment. So she has the newest version, which is 2.0. And that particular version also allows you to scan in pictures or worksheets, and you could fill them out. So if you're in a classroom setting or a work setting and you need to fill out a document, you just scan it in. You can use the stylus. It doesn't come with a stylus, but it works with any standard stylus. You can write on the screen, you can highlight, and of course type as well. It does work actually very well with Windows 10 narrator. In fact, later today, I'm working with someone that has no vision, and we're going to be either using JAWS or some type of a screen reader with it. So you could use Supernova JAWS. You can also use narrator. That's brand new in the second release of it, which is version 2. And I mentioned you can customize the colors as well. And then you have the ability to capture images directly into the tab software. We have a product called PC Viewer, and this is Tab Viewer, but it's very similar, meaning that you can pull it in. The cool thing about it is it's an all-in-one system. So you can edit it. You can take the documents and edit them, save them out as a PDF or send them as an email, because again, it's Windows 10. So it's an all-in-one unit that's very portable and lightweight that you can turn into more of a desk type of unit when you're sitting at home. You can have one monitor, multiple monitors. If you're going to use multiple monitors, you're going to need to use the Surface Dock with it. So there's different ways to configure it and build it. So I wanted to, Catherine, stop for a second. I see that there's some numbers going up in the chat. So if there's anything that you've answered, maybe you can read those live. And then if anyone has a question right now of Jackie, I'd like to go to that before we come back and finish up. We're doing pretty good on time. We've still got a few minutes. So Catherine, is there anything that was in the chat that you need to clarify question-wise verbally?
Yes, Mr. Devuti. I'm not familiar with that first name. I may have guessed wrong, but anyways, this person said, "You have a beautiful voice." And I wrote back that I'll be sure that Jackie hears that comment. And I thank that person for you, Jackie. Another person said, "Jackie, you are amazing." And then the last thing in the chat was when Jackie was speaking, I chatted out to everybody, never give up on the person that you were put on this earth to be and the people you were put on this earth to inspire, because I thought that was such a good quote, and yeah, just made my heart melt.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind comments.
You guys, do you have any questions or comments directly for Jacki about, how she does this, or, how she keeps a positive attitude? What's the best thing she's learned since she's been losing her vision? I mean, any of those types of questions. We'll wait for just a few seconds here to see if anything pops up in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand or anything. Okay, Catherine, did anything pop up that I didn't see?
No, Kimberly, not yet.
Okay. Oops, I saw something just come.
Thanks, Jacki. Awesome presentation from Kim Revels.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
So Jacki, that's a question I have. What is one of the probably the hardest things that you've had to learn since you've been losing your vision? Let's start there. What's something that's been extremely difficult and challenging?
I think having to adjust without vision, to learn my house a little bit differently, to be able to cook with touch, as far as making sure the eyes are off, and buttons, how to use a microwave and find buttons on the microwave with just touch, because I cannot see the numbers anymore. So I had the Braille Institute come out and place like rubber dots on like start buttons for the microwave, the toaster oven and the stove. And I also had the Braille Institute put, it's like too sticky. They're like sticky string, and you put them on your door, like to outline the keyhole. I was having a problem getting into my house, finding the keyhole. And they outlined it. They outlined just where the keyhole was. And now I just feel for those, and I can get into the house easily now. Wow. So that was one of the challenges. And the other thing is really having the confidence to walk out into the world by myself using my ears. I was also trained how to listen to traffic, how to signal to a car, to let them know I was about to cross. I've almost gotten hit a couple of times, because I didn't have that training at that time. But since I've been trained, that challenge it's just like anyone else with full vision.
Excellent. That's great. Catherine, did a question come in before I move to the next slide?
You have the quick minutes button on your microwave.
No, I don't. I live in an apartment. If a quick minute is like the 30-second thing, a 30-second button, I have a rubber dot that's been put on that, so I can find that.
Okay.
And give myself 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds at a time.
The next person is saying, thank you for sharing and your perseverance.
Oh, you're welcome.
Someone says, Jacki, thanks so much for sharing your inspiring story. You bring light and joy to the world. Thanks for forging ahead with your training. And finally, do you see yourself using a guide dog in the future?
I'm not opposed to it. I mean, at this current time, I don't need one, but if the time comes where I need a guide dog, hey, I'm all about it. I don't have a problem with that.
Excellent. Anything else, Catherine, before I move on?
Congrats on attaining your goal of the associates at Saddleback.
Thank you.
How do you normally carry the tab machine to and from where you are learning?
I carry it with the case that comes with it. I just overlap it, like do a crossbody like you would with a purse. I cross it over my body and kind of swing it a little bit to my back so it's not sitting on my hip. And I just go about my way. I have my cane, and my purse is the same way. I do a crossbody, and I kind of tuck it to the back with the locks. I have a travel-on purse that have all the locks, and that's how I move about. So it's not like all the weight is sitting on one side, I just kind of throw it to the back, and
So you
that's
have
how I use it.
the two items crisscrossed in front of you, kind of like bandoliers, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I just cross it across my body, and that's how I
Okay.
get along. Yeah.
You said something about the kind of pocketbook you carry, or the kind of purse. I guess in California they don't use the word pocketbook. What was
Yes.
that?
Yes, I am East Coast, and I
You
had to
are.
stop myself. So I usually say pocketbook.
Yes.
That's my word. I like pocketbook. So yeah.
I remember being in Ventura one time, and I said that in front of my cousin's daughter, and she said, "What did you say?"
Yeah, it's a pocketbook. That's
Right.
old school. That's old
Right.
school. So
Okay.
it's called the Travelon. So it's Travelon. Um, and what it is, it has locks. There's a lock when you zip it on the front. There's a lock that you can interlock it, um, so that when you travel, it's harder for somebody to pickpocket you. It also has the RFID for cards and all of that. So I used it when I went to Europe. There was a photo of me in Italy leaning up against a wall with my cane. And I have that purse. It's off to the side. You can see the black strap going across my body.
Right.
So I kept the locks toward my hand. So when I was walking, I kept my hand over those locks so
Right.
that no one had a chance to get into my purse at all.
Perfect. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Another person is saying they're from the East Coast, and they say pocketbook.
Yes.
Really enjoyed the presentation, Jackie. You are a true inspiration to others. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that.
Actually, that was from one of our attendees.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, then we're going to move on. If there's other questions, I'll give you the opportunity to reach out to Jackie as well. So we are giving away the Bluetooth keyboard that Jackie was using, either the white on black or the black on yellow. We're giving away one a month till the end of June. We started this because of ATIA. We did some presentations at ATIA, and these are links right here to the presentation. So if you signed up and attended today, you'll get this PowerPoint with these live links, and you can click on them. If you happen to watch the webinars and send me an email just saying your favorite part, that adds you into the drawing. Anybody that came to the webinar today, you're already in the drawing. Anybody that attends a webinar is in the drawing, and then we pick a winner at the end of the month. We give one away a month. You get to pick which color you want, and we just mail that out to you. We normally sell those for $139, so it's just a nice gift for thanking you for attending the webinars and just being part of what we're promoting. Speaking of webinars, Catherine and I have two coming up. We're getting ready to start the May schedule as well. But April 13th, the tab that Jackie talked about and used, will actually spend an hour going into the tab. It's called Tab 2 for 1 for when a student needs a computer and an AT device. That one's April 20th. Excuse me, that one's April 13th. And you can register now for that particular webinar. And then the one on April 20th will be showing off a product. I say it's similar because you can plug it into your own existing computer, but it can do a lot of the same powerful things. And it's called the MagnaLink S, or the MLS, which stands for the Mighty Little Sleek Video Magnifier. That's our smallest little camera that you can plug in. And why you would choose that over the tab would be if you have a computer you love, a PC, Mac, or Chromebook, because it works with all three. You can register for any of our webinars, and stay tuned because we'll have our May webinars up hopefully by the end of the week, if not next week as well. But the April ones are up there now. And then I have exciting news. We just are filing for ACV REP credits. So hopefully within the next 60 days, I'd say out, we'll have credits available. So that means if you attend our webinars, not only can you possibly win a keyboard, but for those of you that need credits, the ACV REP type of credits, if you're a counselor or just your type of job requires that, you'll be able to apply right for those when you come to our webinars. So not the April ones, I'd say, maybe not May, but I mean, there's a possibility. It depends on how fast they get the paperwork processed, but for sure June. And we'll be doing webinars every month. So stay tuned. We'll make a big announcement about the ACB REP credits. We offered them last year for about a couple months, but this is a permanent type of thing that Catherine came on board and was able to get figured out for us. So it'll be something permanent that we do. Thank you so much for attending. We greatly appreciate it. You guys, I did not put Jacki's phone number just because I didn't want to put it out there, but you can contact me if you want her number, and I can pass that on to her, or maybe you can give me her number and she can reach out to you, and you can reach out to me. It's Kimberly Klein, and at 702-468-6611. And I'm Kimberly, it's KIMBERLY.Klein, CLINE at LVI America. If you want to email Jacki direct, it's Jacki Jones, and it's JACKI Jones, JONES. And her email is Jacki, JACKI, and then the letter Y, that's her middle initial. So Jacki Y Jones, JONES at gmail.com. So feel free to reach out to Jacki or myself. You guys, if you want Jacki to appear on a podcast, I've already had a couple other people ask me if she can speak. She would love to do that. Jacki, that's a good way to kind of wrap up. What is your goal? I know you've got some big goals and aspirations. So talk about some of the things that you're hoping to do once you get your degree under your belt and get your COVID symptoms a little bit behind you. What are some of the goals and things that you're wanting to do?
Yeah, thank you. Once COVID is over with me, I'm really hoping to get out into the community and provide services to our community, to eat healthier, and to, do a little bit of food prep, because organization is key to your success in your home, and, when you're out in public, keeping things organized even when you're in public, whether it be your backpack or your purse, or really, and focusing on, if you love to cook prior to you losing your vision, or you love to cook, with vision, that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people to cook and to enjoy food and to enjoy life, and but food preparation, and teach others how to live a healthier lifestyle with food. You don't have to eat processed food. You can eat healthy without even turning on the stove, and hopefully I get to show people how to do that once I can get in a position to be in the community like that.
Excellent. And you guys, Jacki's really good at the computer as well. So I just, she's kind of shared with me, she just wants to give people hope. She wants to be a hope giver. Yes. She wants to be able to, go into the Braille Institutes, give back to her community there, and reach out, all over the world, because, life is tough enough, and people dealing with limited vision, depending yes. on their circumstances, maybe they don't have a support team. Jacki wants to be part of that team. And here at LVI America, Catherine and I are the same. We are in this industry because we love to touch lives and change people. And that's what our products do, but that's what we just do as a mission. We're here to reach out and help people. And that's what it's all about. And that's what makes us get up every day with a smile on our face, no matter what's going on with politics or weather or COVID or anything. Our mission never changes. We're here to change lives one life at a time and to make a difference.
And then someone is asking, Jacki, have you ever considered being a motivational speaker?
I've never thought of myself as a motivational speaker, but, if that's where this journey is going to take me, is to speaking to crowds of people, to give them hope and to help them, I definitely would consider doing motivational speaking.
Excellent.
So Jacki, share just a little bit about your daughter real quick, what people told you about your daughter, and what people told you that, you can't do this, you can't do that, and what she has done.
Yes, thank you. My daughter and I'm a single mom, and you know, I wasn't in the best financial situation always, but, you know, I never give up. You know, that's who I am. And there were people that were really well to do. I sent my daughter to a charter school. And when people learned that she was going to go to charter school, they gasped. Then, you know, people said she's a cellist and maybe only community college was good enough for her. Well, I ended up sending her to private school. She graduated. She became a cello teacher, and she works for attorneys and thinking about going to law school. So I never say never, you know, and I never give up. So I've always had challenges in my life, but I never give in to those. And I always look at my glass as half full and not half empty, no matter what the situation is. And that's what I want to express to you. Don't ever give up. You know, please don't ever give up, and just know that there's always someone there that is worse than you, or there's someone there for you to talk to help you over that moment of being a Eeyore. You know, just never give up and keep going forward.
And her daughter is so amazing and has been part of her support system. And Jacki and her daughter love to go to museums. And Jacki was going through a museum and said, oh my gosh, you know, it's so quiet in a museum. And Jacki's not quiet with that cane. And share, this will be our final story, what your daughter said and what your daughter
Yes.
did.
Yes. Okay. So my daughter is a cellist, right? And it was really quiet in this museum. And here I come across these wooden floors, and it's like rink, rink, rink. And she goes, "You're the only one making noise." So I said, "Sorry." She goes, "But wait, I could take that noise and put it into a backdrop of my soundtrack that I'm recording." She goes, "Let me hear it again." So that was inspiring, and it was something to laugh about. And to record the cane going across a rough surface and adding it into music. So yeah, that's really awesome. It made my day.
So it took something that somebody might think is annoying to something so positive that her daughter wanted to add it as a soundtrack, that she's so proud of that. This is my mom. This is what my
Yeah.
mom has done. And this is what my mom has inspired me to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yes.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you, Jacki, so much for your time and your inspiration and just giving of yourself to so many people. You've
Thank you.
changed my life every single time I talk to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone being here today and allowing me to share my story with you. So thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Everyone have a great day. If you guys have other questions, feel free to reach out to myself, Jacki, or Catherine anytime. We're here to help.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.